Keto is everywhere, and people talk about it like it's a magic metabolic hack that cures everything. But is it actually worth trying? And if you do try it, how do you do it in a way that doesn't destroy your gut health or chuff up your cholesterol? In this video, I'll break down the real evidence, the real benefits, the real risks. And then I'll show you my favourite version, a more plant-based, higher fibre approach that's more sensible for most people. I'm Duncan, a GP in the UK with an interest in truly holistic healthcare. So let's get right into it. Keto is a very low carb, high fat way of eating. This pushes your body into ketosis, where you're burning fat and making ketones for fuel. The problem is, people hear low carb and think it's a license to eat loads of bacon, butter and cheese. That's definitely not the version of keto I'd recommend to my patients, particularly if you want to stay healthy and live a long life. Just Google Robert Atkins Coroner's Report and look at the state of the Atkins diet creator's health at the time of his death. Right, keto does have some real uses, such as 1. Weight loss can happen, especially in the early stages. Many people lose weight quickly in the first few weeks. Some of that is water weight and muscle loss. And some people find it easier to eat less when carbs are low. But over a year, studies suggest healthy low carb and healthy low fat diets give similar results for weight loss. So the diet that wins is often the diet you can actually stick to, and the one without ultra-processed foods. 2. Type 2 diabetes control can improve. Lower carb often means lower blood glucose spikes, and some people can then reduce their diabetes medication. In some studies, a small but significant proportion of people can hit remission criteria at around 6 months, but the effect tends to fade by 12 months in a lot of data, and long-term remission evidence is still limited. Another issue is animal proteins cause significant insulin release. It's not just carbs that do that. Saturated fats, like those in meat, dairy and eggs, increase insulin resistance. So a keto diet high in animal-derived foods can essentially worsen type 2 diabetes, even when blood sugar appears normal in tests. An important warning: if you're on insulin or sulfonylureas like gliclazide, going low carb can cause dangerous hypos. So don't change your diet without input from your diabetes healthcare provider. 3. Epilepsy has the strongest evidence for medical use. Keto has a real role in drug-resistant epilepsy in specialist settings, but it's medical keto, which is not the same as Instagram keto. Now, for the bit that gets missed, keto can help some people, but it can also cause problems like 1. LDL cholesterol can rise to unhealthy levels in some people. Some people see their triglycerides drop and their HDL cholesterol improve, but others see LDL or bad cholesterol shoot up, and sometimes dramatically, which increases your risk of cardiovascular disease. If your version of keto is heavy on saturated fat, like a carnivore diet, you're making this more likely. So if you're going to try keto, it's sensible to get your blood lipids checked 2 to 3 months after starting to ensure your cholesterol profile is okay. 2. Your gut health suffers if fibre disappears. Many keto diets end up being low in fibre, and we have research showing ketogenic diets can reduce certain beneficial gut bacteria, such as bifidobacteria. If your bowels slow down, you feel bloated, your stools change, or you feel off, this is often your microbiome telling you it needs more fibre. 3. Kidney stones are a real risk. The incidence of kidney stones on ketogenic diets has been estimated to be around 6% of people in some analyses. So if you have chronic kidney disease or you're prone to kidney stones, you need to be very careful. If someone does keto with salmon, olive oil, nuts, seeds and lots of vegetables, that's one thing. But a carnivore version is basically meat, more meat and no plants. Here's my concerns with this option. It's automatically zero fibre and that's not great for your microbiome, bowels, and long-term metabolic health. As previously mentioned, it can drive bad LDL cholesterol very high in some people, and there are numerous reports of this in carnivores. We know that processed meat is classified as definitely carcinogenic to humans, so you'd be increasing your risk of cancer if you chose a carnivore diet containing lots of processed meats. So even if someone feels great short term, the long-term risks are significant and need to be considered. In reality, a strict ketogenic diet makes eating high fibre harder, because the foods that are naturally high in fibre, such as beans, lentils, whole grains and fruit, often come with more carbs. So, in reality, most people do better aiming for lower carb and not necessarily a deep ketosis. And you can do this with a healthy diet centred around whole plant foods. There is trial data on plant-based low-carb eating patterns, sometimes called Eco-Atkins, that shows improvement in LDL cholesterol and body weight in hyperlipidemic adults. So, to help you consider the healthier low-carb option, here's a simple template you can use. 1. Build your plate on non-starchy vegetables. Think salads, leafy greens, cruciferous veg, peppers, courgette, mushrooms, and aubergine, aka eggplant. 2. Add plant protein, like tofu, tempeh, edamame, soya yogurt, or a smaller portion of legumes if you're not chasing strict ketosis. 3. Add healthy fats, extra virgin olive oil, avocado, nuts and seeds. 4. Ensure additional fibre. Add toppers to meals like chia seeds, ground flax seeds, hemp seeds, or you can also add inulin as a prebiotic fibre, as I mentioned in my microbiome reset video. 2 teaspoons of inulin per day adds around 10 grams of fibre to your diet with very little caloric effect, and significantly boosts your gut health. Your meals for a day could look like: breakfast, a high-protein soy yogurt with chia seeds, ground flax seeds, walnuts and a few berries. Lunch, a huge salad with olive oil, tofu or tempeh, pumpkin seeds, and pickled veg or kimchi on the side. Dinner, stir-fried mixed vegetables with tofu, mushrooms, olive oil, and a small serving of edamame beans. Snacks could be olives, a handful of nuts, or veg with hummus in a portion that fits your carb target. Some words of caution. If you're on any medication for diabetes, speak to your doctor before any major dietary changes. If you have chronic kidney disease, a history of kidney stones, gout, or you're pregnant, be very cautious. And if you have a history of disordered eating, restrictive diets can be a problem. Please remember, I'm not your doctor, so don't be a chuff, and see your own healthcare provider if you're concerned about cooties and such. So, keto can have real benefits for some people, especially lowering appetite, weight loss early on, and glucose control. But the risks are real too, especially cardiovascular disease risk due to LDL cholesterol rises, as well as other problems associated with microbiome damage and the risk of painful problems like kidney stones and gout. A carnivore version adds extra concerns, including zero fibre and high meat exposure, which I really don't think is sensible if you want to live a long and healthy life. Sadly, a lot of the carnivore influencers I've seen present harmful pseudoscience as fact and do so convincingly with well-made videos. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, clicking like would be a nice gesture. If you want to learn how you can get some of the benefits of keto and fasting without changing your diet, see this video about AMPK. Always remember, we are all part of the universe together. Much love.